Racing a USAC midget on dirt is at best a chancy way to make a living. Things get crowded. Things go wrong. Luck has a lot to do with success, and no matter how hard they try, some guys just keep rolling snake eyes. Take Jimmy Sills. He's a proven winner. 2 weeks ago, he powered around the outside of Robbie Flock and claimed a magnificent victory. Last week, well, the dice fell the other way. A bolt broke in the front end, and Sills crashed, taking Doug Kalita with him. Bad luck can be contagious. Sleepy Tripp is a Ventura legend, winner of far more races here than any other driver. Top 5 in 77% of his starts. Maybe it's TV cameras that bring Sleep bad luck. His motor died last week, and Jet Davidson ran over him. They thrashed to get him running again, but the king of Ventura watched the feature from the grandstand. Robbie Flock, last year's TV series champ, another victim of changing fortunes. Twice this year, his number 32 looked like a potential winner. Read him and weep, Robbie. Takes a certain amount of luck to dodge every hole in the racetrack, and only dodging most of them doesn't count. And finally, Paige Jones figured with a little luck he could make as big an impact on this series as brother PJ did last year. Indeed, he was spectacular up there on the cushion, but the roll of the bones and the luck of the qualifying draw combined to give him back of the pack starting spot. In an attempt to change his luck, Paige left town, but his counterparts are sticking it out, determined to lose that label. Power, brave souls, and the will to win. They are the local heroes, and they live for Saturday night. The USAC Western States Midgets back at Ventura Fairgrounds, Ventura, California. Just outside the pit area, a totally radical California beach party and earthquake watch is underway. You folks in Bemidji will want to know the surf conditions. All in all, a pretty pleasant day at the beach. And so why, you may wonder, are we over here in the infield at the racetrack? Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Despain. Welcome to Saturday Night Thunder. The reason we're here is because this is where the action is, and unpredictable action indeed. Have a little sympathy for those of us who have to try to predict for you who will be the people to watch here this evening. It's been tough all year, but I've got two names in my hat, and coincidentally, they both made the pre-race tape reel. Take a look at Jimmy Sills, already a victim of bad luck tonight. Joe Gertie came over to check out the damage to Sills' front end after a hot lap crash. Note the coil-over suspension on the front instead of the torsion bars. Sills says that change might affect a mortal race driver, but it won't bother him in the least. We know about Sills. Gertie is a man to consider. A sprint car racer on his way to the stock car wars who stopped off here to get some TV exposure along the way. He's been consistent. He's been conservative. He's run the bottom. Nothing spectacular. And he is second in the points for TV, just 2 out of the lead. He's on my list to watch tonight, and I'll give you 2 more names, Gare and Lair. The guys who will call the action are up topside here at Ventura Fairgrounds Raceway. Gary Lee and the 3-time USAC champion, Larry Rice.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, everybody. Larry Rice. We have seen spectacular racing here, but I tell you what, some of the members of your all-cushion team are AWOL tonight.
That's right. Schumann and McSpadden have gone racing in Arizona. They had previous commitments with a sprint car race down there. And poor old Paige Jones, he had such bad luck. He was trying to change his luck. He went to Atlanta to run a Barber Saab race, and it didn't change it. He qualified 16th down there.
Let's take a look at consistency on this little bull ring here in Ventura. First of all, Ronnie Schumann, who is not here, a 2nd, 4th, and a 4th. And there's Joe Gertie, who's 2nd in points, a 4th, 3rd, and a 3rd. But look at Russ Gamester. He won the first outing, didn't even start the second race, then was 2nd last week. He dropped down to Robbie Flock, who I think is a contender, a 6th, a 13th, and a 6th. Now, we've talked about Jimmy Sills. We've talked about Joe Gertie. With the absence of these 3 guys that you mentioned, who else do we look for?
Well, I think Gamester's going to be tough. He starts far back in the field, but he has won a race before. He's going to be moving to the front right away, I think. Another guy is Sleepy Tripp. He is always tough here. He's won 12 races here. He's going to go right to the front, I think. But I think the real guy to watch here tonight is Robbie Flock. He is quick time. He's going to be very, very tough as he goes to the front right away, I think.
Well, Rice-A-Roni, the theme song in California this week has been, I Feel the Earth Move Under My Feet. But the rumblings tonight are from Ventura County Fairgrounds and the USAC Western States Midgets.
Whoa, wait a minute. What was that?
We shouldn't joke about that. They take that seriously out here. If they tried to measure racing excitement on the Richter scale tonight would bend the needle. It's the USAC Midgets. 2 heats are already in the book. We're a half hour late getting to you tonight, but we got them on tape. Jimmy Sills was spectacular. We're going to come back with live heat race action on Saturday Night Thunder. Saturday Night Thunder is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. Heats 3 and 4 live, and then highlights of 1 and 2 coming up when we return to Ventura Fairgrounds Raceway.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Let's see. A mountain man must be fearless, sure-footed, willing to answer the call of the wild. But most of all, a mountain man should be thirsty for a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking Bush Light. So, head for the mountains and see if you have what it takes to be a real mountain man.
Kilimanjaro, 1.8 million years in the making. It's finally ready for the new Jeep.
Driving a top fuel car is basically the feel of being shot out of a cannon. At the level of speed we operate in, which is normally around 290 miles an hour, your concentration level better be there or we're in a lot of trouble. My job, as I see it on that team, is to win races, but just as importantly is to make it safe for the fans to watch and safe for Joe to drive the car. I think the reason we've been able to win 4 championships is plain and simple, work and dedication.
If only your tires could talk.
It's so tiring. He babies the car, then abuses me with messy vinyl cleaner. Hey, I'm rubber. No-touch tire care. Ooh, nice foam.
No-touch tire care. The first product to clean, shine, and protect tires in one easy step. No scrubbing, no dirty rags, no mess.
Yeah, clean and shiny. Oh, no, bad doggy. Go away.
Treat your tires right with no-touch tire care.
We are live at the Ventura County Fairgrounds for the Copenhagen Skull Western States USAC Midgets. This will be the lineup now for heat race number 3. 10 laps, inverted start, the fastest on the rear. Jordan Hermansader up in front alongside Bob Grossman in row 1. In the second row, 6-time champion out here on the West Coast, Sleepy Tripp in number 1, and Frank Pedregon outside. Then it's Ricky Gray and Jet Davidson in row 3. In the fourth row inside, Gary Schroeder outside Robbie Stanley, the defending USAC Sprint Car champion. And we've got a guy we haven't talked about much this season, Frank Pedregon, starting outside the second row. That's the car that Paige Jones has been in. Frank was here to qualify the first week, but had some engine trouble.
That's right. He didn't. He hasn't made a race yet here this year. He's had trouble, but he's in a very good race car tonight. This car, he should be able to do real well, and he's got some big shoes to fill. And of course, his brother, Cruz Pedregon, is real well known in the dragster circuit.
Well, also in this heat race, a 6-time Western States champion, a 2-time national champion, a guy that's always one to beat anytime you race out here. That is Sleepy Tripp. That's the Matco Tools Zerunians entry.
That's right. The Matco Tools car that he's driving is a tough race car. He's teamed up with the Zerunians. We keep talking about him, and he doesn't keep coming through. But, you know, he's got to. He's so good. He's always so tough that I think sooner or later he's got to make it happen here on TV.
Field belongs to the youngster, Jordan Hermansader, as Brian Howard, the flagman, looks him over. We have a green flag. We are racing here. This is heat race number 3. Once again, only 4 will transfer. The inverted start, the fastest drivers start from the back of the pack. Hermansader leads into turn 3, but look at that battle now for 4th position. That's the battle for the 4th and final transfer spot.
Ricky Gray in that 44 car with a red nose made a fantastic start. He got a great start. He's already up to 3rd position. He just went around Bob Grossman. He touched his wheels. He went around him, but he started way in the back and got a fantastic start to get up to 3rd spot already.
That's Gary Schroeder in that yellow 01 car.
He also started in the back. That's Frank Pedregon in the 21 car. He's running high, and he's not getting around the racetrack real good. So, up, they touched wheels. That was Pedregon just touching wheels right there. With Gary Schroeder, they both went for the same hole, and they couldn't make it.
Up at the front of the pack, it is still Herman Stater as we watch that battle in the backstretch. And look at Robbie Stanley on the inside, the white 48, the defending USAC Sprint Car champion of Brownsburg, Indiana. And he has a car right in front of him.
Those two guys touched. They ran into each other on every corner of the race so far. Finally, he hit the front end, and he knocked his front end out from under him.
The youngster and the wily old veteran, the youngster in the white number 91, Herman Stater outside the red number 1 of Sleepy Tripp.
Sleepy's trying to find a way to get around him right now. He went in high, he went in, now he went in low. He went in, we're watching this time as he goes in. I think he'll go back to the cushion, he'll go back to the top, try to get a big run off that cushion and diamond down under him like he's doing right there, but he can't quite pull it off. Herman Stater's running a very good line, a very tight line, and he doesn't want to let Sleepy get underneath him.
Sleepy Tripp has won 12 times on this racetrack, but he's never won here on television. So let's see if perhaps this could be his night.
He's right now just hunting for a place. He tried the high side, he's tried the low side. Herman Stater all of a sudden seemed like he got an extra shot, and he took off. But Sleepy's going to work on him, but it looks like Herman Stater's got it figured out pretty well right now.
We still have a good battle as the white flag comes out this time. A good battle for that fourth and final transfer position. Remember, only 4 will transfer. Those who do not make it from the heat race have to go back through the semi, and there is a look at the 4th place. That belongs to Stanley in number 48. Look at the contact there and a spin on the backstretch. That's Grossman as the checkered flag comes out for Herman Stater. He hangs on to take the win over Ron Sleepy Tripp.
He sure did. That was a pretty good race. Those two guys got tangled up back there fighting for that 4th and final transfer spot. It's the most important spot in this race to most of these guys because that's the one you have to get in the feature race. And Grossman just kind of lost the battle there.
Herman Stater was 10th in the Western States points last year. Brosman comes to a stop on the backstretch as he loops to a stop. But there is the youngster who, well, that was quite a race to hold off a veteran like Sleepy Tripp.
Flash Jordan, it says there on his side of his car, and that's what he calls himself, Flash Jordan Herman Stater. Look at this. This is the battle between Pedregon, and he runs into Schroeder, bangs into the wheels down there, and here comes Robbie Stanley. He's trying to get in under him. They go back into the next corner, still looking at each other, trying to pass each other, and as they come off, Pedregon just slides out a little bit too far, bangs into the left front wheel, and he broke the front end. He broke the front end of that car. You can see it spinning over. So he had, he had no steering. He went in the infield and had to stop.
Now, later in the race, here we are again. Brosman outside in the white 55. 48 is Stanley in front of him, and once again, contact with Pedregon.
Pedregon just, again, slid out a little too far, but, in a situation like that, he can't see that guy out there. The guy on the outside has some responsibility.
Here's the battle for the lead as they come around the final 2 turns for the checkered flag.
Sleepy tried. He went high, he came out low, but he just didn't quite have enough straightaway speed to get around him going in for the checkered flag.
So 4 transfer, a good crowd on hand here. It's a beautiful night in Southern California. These 4 transfer, Herman Stater, Tripp, Gray, and Stanley. We're coming back with heat race number 4.
If you can't wait, you need the News Weekly of Motoring, Auto Week. If you can't wait for driving impressions, get Auto Week. Auto Week drives them all and tells you about them first. If you can't wait for car news, get Auto Week. Auto Week covers it all. The great old cars, the auto shows. Auto Week's columnists are controversial and fast. And if you can't wait for racing news, get the News Weekly of Motoring. Auto Week races to bring you the winningest coverage first. If you can't wait, get Auto Week, the News Weekly of Motoring, now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for a full year. 52 issues at the special TV price of $19.95. Just 38 cents an issue. Save $80 off the cover price. You've thought about it. Stop waiting. Do it now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for the News Weekly of Motoring.
Thursday nights, ESPN sets them up and knocks them down. First, the ladies are ready to roll at the Blue Ribbon Ladies Classic. Then undefeated IBF champion Michael Carbajal slugs it out on Top Rank Boxing. Knockdown Thursday, ESPN.
Quite a little commotion out here by the ocean as the USAC Western States midget drivers come to town. and Jordan Flash Hermansader beat Sleepy Trip in a great race. Did you know who was back there?
I knew he was there, Dave. I knew he was Sleepy. He showed me wheel a few times, but you can't let that get to you. He's just another guy out there.
Doesn't make any difference if it's Sleepy Trip or somebody else coming up to show you the wheel.
Any of those guys. You can't let that spook you.
But it wasn't. We got a little bit of tape to look at here, and I want you to look at that, and I want you to also tell me what the scoop is on your car here. You said you aren't 100% happy with it.
Yeah, we're a little soft on the right rear. I couldn't get in like I wanted to because the right side frame was digging in, so you had to go drive a little easier, but we could have been faster. We were going to the front.
Well, if you were driving easy there, that doesn't bode well for these guys in the rest of the main event. There is the victory over Sleepy Trip, and here's the guy who did it, Jordan Hermansader. Congratulations to you. He's looking for his second career victory in this series. We'll be back to see if he can pull it off, and we'll get right to heat race number 4 after this timeout from the Ventura Fairgrounds.
BMW reminds you there's more to life than a bigger office. Is this the year you experienced BMW motorcycles?
John, how you doing? You know, AutoZone customers are pretty special. I mean, they take great pains in doing a job just right. So they know exactly what they want. That's why we carry so many parts. And also why we price them so low every day of the week. Because you've got to admire a guy who'll tackle a job like putting in a starter, a water pump, a rack and pinion. And you got to give a guy like that exactly what he wants. The right parts and the right price.
This is Saturday Night Thunder. Meanwhile, across the country, the Chevrolet's got a wake-up call in Martinsville, Virginia. I'll tell you about that during the news break in just a few minutes. You'll see the race here on ESPN Monday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. You're inside the midget car of Russ Gamester, a former winner here on Saturday Night Thunder. Let's see if he can do it again here tonight as we go back to the Gary and Larry Show.
Once again, we're ready for heat race number 4. And here now, as we take a ride around the track at slow speed with Russ Gamester in the CarQuest Cage Cam. Gamester, a former winner here, in fact, the first outing, 3 weeks ago, and also a past national champion.
Yeah, you just see that helmet. He had that big eagle on there. That's his favorite hockey team is the Chicago Blackhawks, and he modeled that helmet off of Ray LeBlanc's goalie mask, and he wanted to put that on there. He thinks he's the greatest, so that's why he made his helmet that way.
Well, if he takes a puck in the helmet this evening, we're at the wrong rink. Here now is a look at the starting lineup. In the front row, Lynn Carter, the black 77, the youngster, the 18-year-old high school senior. Jason Jockman outside. Then there's Jack Ailey and Jack Hawley, a pair of deuces in the second row. And in row 3 on the inside with the camera, Russ Gamester. And outside, a winner here last year, Keith Roush out of Colorado. And there's Doug Coletta, the youngster out of Michigan, the pilot. And outside, Brian Dollinger in the orange number 0. All right, who we going to like in this one? Well, Gamester's going to be tough.
Gamester's going to be tough, Coletta's going to be tough, and Roush is going to be tough. All 3 of those guys are starting near the back, are going to be working their way towards the front, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Keith Roush has been very quiet this year. Last year he was up in the forefront. He was doing well. He was up front winning races. This year it's been kind of in the back. He's had some bad luck, but I think he's got that brand new race car. They've just had some trouble working it out, but I think he's could be a threat before this series is over.
This is a new team with him. How long does it take in the way of communication to gel with a new team?
A lot of times that is the key word, communication. The car owner and the mechanic have to know exactly what you want, how you feel in that race car. And even if you're the greatest race car driver in the world and you can't make them understand what needs to be done, then you're not going to go fast.
You're going to start driving race cars, you better start young. Starting outside the front row, Jason Jockman, only 18 years old. He's a senior at Fountain Valley High School here in California. The green flag flies, and this is heat race number 4. Once again, the inverted start, only the top 4 transfer, and look at that melee down in the first corner.
Jockman,
they're hooked together.
Yeah, they are. No, they're not going to get unhooked. They're either, if they say, they did, but Lynn Carter stopped in the middle of the racetrack. We got to have a yellow for that. He stopped right in the middle of the racetrack. What happens in a case like that is the front bumper on one just gets hooked into that back bumper there, and they just can't get loose. He finally shook it loose, but it was too late.
So that will require a complete restart side by side for heat race number 4. You know, I think we've talked a lot over the past couple of years about the promoter here, Jim Naylor. It's his responsibility to get the track in racing order. It's been very hot out here, some, 95 degrees earlier this afternoon. The track right out in qualifying, but he's done a yeoman's job of getting this track very raceable this evening.
Well, I don't think you can say enough about Jim Naylor. He does everything, but the job he does preparing this track is absolutely phenomenal. We talked about it last week. It was bad last week in the afternoon. It was terrible this week. I mean, it was dusty, it was slick, it was hard. But look at it now. There's 2-3 grooves out there right now, and that's what it takes to be a good racer.
There's a look at number 22. That is Doug Coletta. He is the nephew of famed dragster Connie Coletta. He's a pilot by profession, flies the big birds around the country.
Yeah, I don't think anybody who flies a big airplane around the country is going to get too scared driving one of these race cars around there. At least I can't imagine. So he's probably a pretty good stead. You're not going to stick a wheel in there and make him back off too much.
And Doug, by his own admission, has a real lack of experience on the dirt. He flew down to New Zealand for their racing season down under to get more experience, and he's out here for that very reason.
The big break on that was Gamester and Coletta. They both moved up 2 spots, so that's going to be good.
Green flag flies. We are trying it one more time here in heat race number 4. That is Gamester on the inside, but the youngster goes by on the high side. Yockman out in front.
That kid did a great job. Both starts, he got the jump, and this time he got a jump on a real veteran in Russ Gamester. He did a great job on that start.
Well, there is an interesting view from the tail tank of Gamester, looking back at Doug Coletta, who rides in 3rd position. There's a battle for the transfer position.
Yeah, you saw there, we had a little banging into each other back there in the back. That's Roush. He gets under Yaley and goes right on past him. That's a very good job. Now we see the Yonkman. That's Yonkman up front in the blue car. Gamester's running in 2nd. He doesn't seem to be able to gain on the youngster. The youngster's doing a great job.
This is also building confidence. He's been somewhat erratic, inconsistent. This is what he needs, a good victory right here if he can hold off Russ Gamester.
This is a very good shot right here. We can see Russ Gamester looking at him. He's running in under Yonkman. Yonkman doesn't get rattled. He shows him a wheel right there. Yonkman stands on the gas, pulls right off. That's a Ford Ranger engine in that race car. I think it's the only one out here. And it's he's doing a great job.
The BMOCs on campus are generally the jocks, the basketball players, the football players. He's getting some notoriety here because all the classmates are watching this evening.
That's right. Very, very smooth. Russ Gamester's trying. He's trying to run in low. He's running a little bit higher a couple of times, but he doesn't seem to be able to gain anything. If anything, Yonkman's pulling away from him a little bit at this point in the race.
Well, it looks like Yonkman is able to pull away down the straightaway, but obviously Russ is getting to the corners better.
Well, Russ is working very, very hard. He's working on. See right there, Yonkman went a little bit high. When he moved out off the bottom, Gamester gained quite a bit on him. He's going to try very hard to run in high and run off low. If he makes too many mistakes, he'll go around him.
There's a look at the youngster from a high school student.
Mountain Valley.
But I think it's a case right now where the veteran can apply the pressure, perhaps make the youngster nervous, make him make a mistake, and then go by for the victory.
Well, that's what he's going to try to do. This kid doesn't seem to be moving very much. But right now,
there he is. He's got his nose underneath him and coming through 4. There's the white flag. 1 lap to go. Can Russ Gamester out of Peru, Indiana, beat the youngster from Mountain Valley, California? Now he works the high side, looks at the low side, and I think Jason's going to hold on.
Yeah. Oh,
Russ got in trouble there. He got the berm inside turn 4. And he hangs on for 2nd.
We talked last year about people who got too far up on that berm. If you get the left front side wheels too far up on that berm, and you get the center of gravity leaning so far over on that right rear tire that is folding under, it can turn you right over in a hurry, and that almost happened to him right there.
We take a look now as he pulls into victory lane. Look at the netting right there. A lot of the drivers go into that netting in case they get into a concrete wall. It keeps the driver's head inside that protective cage.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that, and I think it's a very good idea. We tried one of those on the race car I drove last year, and it worked very, very well. At least I thought it did.
Well, a miscue by a veteran, as we'll take a look now at Russ Gamester on the very last lap. Now watch from inside the car.
Look at him. He's tearing a tear-off off. You see him up there with his left hand. He moves down in on that berm. He gets way to the left side, way up. He catches a little rut. That thing jumps up in the air. But he had presence of mind to turn it right, keep it right side up, and go on down and finish 2nd.
So as we look at the palm trees in the Pacific West, we can tell you that Jason Yockman, the youngster, beats Gamester, Coletta, and Roush in heat race number 4. More coming up. Stay with us.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel light pliers.
Tommy, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tongue and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
13 seconds left in our ball game. We're all tied up.
Some things were meant to fade.
Drive down the key, but the defenders won't let him. He goes into the air. A fadeaway jumper. Oh, it's a beautiful...
And some things weren't. Like Dutch Boy satin finish house paint. Nothing resists cracking, peeling, and fading better. Nothing. So for exceptional durability, look to Dutch Boy. Because while some things were meant to fade, only Dutch Boy gives you the look that lasts.
There's a jackpot to collect. Titi Rodriguez will play his cards right, but Lee Trevino and Arnold Palmer have a few aces up their sleeves. The Las Vegas Senior Classic complete coverage starts Friday afternoon live on ESPN.
Well, you take the Ford Ranger motor out of Jason Yonkman's car, put it in that sailboat, it'd run pretty good. Jason comes home a winner over Russ Gamster. Kalita and Roush round out the top four. Now, do I discern a pattern here? The young kids beating up on the old veterans. First of all, Herman Sater puts Tripp away, and now 18-year-old Jason Yonkman has beat the former national champion Russ Gamster. Question is, who the heck is Jason Yonkman?
Well, I'm just an 18-year-old high school senior, you know, trying to get out of high school, and well, the guys at Pat Splash Equipment, they got me started in racing a long time ago. I ran quarter midgets, TQs, and now I'm racing a midget here, and I got a lot of sponsors helping me out, you know. So, just trying to do the best I can, you know.
Kid with a lot of excitement to deliver to the sport. Take a look at yourself in action here. This is the white flag lap, and I'm wondering if you were at all concerned about Gamester during that last lap.
Yeah, I saw him stick his wheel on me on the inside a few times, but I just hung in there, man, and tried to hold it off low, and I just kept my foot on the throttle and just pulled away from him. But I couldn't have done it without my dad, you know, and my crew, and Pat's Plastering Equipment, Larry and Pat over there, and Esslinger Engineering. You know, they gave me a good motor deal this year, and, you know, it's great. And Edmunds Auto Research, Weld Wheels, National Manufacturing, SoCal Racing Fuel, and JFC, and McCurry Tire, you know, they're great. The guys have helped me out a lot, giving me some good deals for being a rookie and everything, so I'd like to thank them. And ESPN, and Skull, Copenhagen, and Wins, and everything else.
Let me tell you about this kid, okay? He's 18 years old, first time he's ever done it. Didn't faze him a bit when they put Robbie Flock up on the videotape, plus he got all his sponsors in. Congratulations to you, kid. We're going to see a lot more of Jason Yonkman, and we'll be back with more of the midgets right after this.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
Hi, I'm Chuck Woolery. I love cars, but I hate grease, just like this greasy engine. But now there's Clear Magic. Just spray it on, hose it off, and grease and grime disappear like magic. You see this grease spot on my shirt, Clear Magic and water, and it's gone. It's non-toxic, it's non-flammable, and it's totally biodegradable. Clear Magic has 1,000 different uses around the house, but don't tell your wife or it'll disappear. Like magic.
Clear Magic.
The new Jeep. The world's only 4x4 with a standard driver's side airbag.
You say your eyes are red, irritated, dry? Don't hide them. Help them with Clear Eyes. It gets rid of the redness and has an extra moisturizing ingredient, too. Clear Eyes. And for allergies and colds, Clear Eyes ACR.
On Sunday night on ESPN, hey, it's baseball. Wally Joyner and the new-look Royals traveling to the Sky Dome, taking on the defending American League Eastern Division champs, the Blue Jays. And they, of course, have the all-star second baseman in Roberto Alomar. It all happens tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN. Saturday night is racing night on ESPN. We've got the highlights of heat race number 1 and the proof that Jimmy Sills is indeed not just any mortal race car driver. I want you to take a look at what he did in the first heat as we go to Gary and Larry for the call.
Front row, Dennis Hart and Dwayne Markham. In row 2, John Kofer and Rick Cressy. In the third row, on the inside, Jimmy Sills, qualified 13th this afternoon, and Stevie Reeves. Row 4, Critter, Chris Malone, and the fast qualifier, Robbie Flock. Once again, as we always tell you, inverted start, only 4 will transfer. Now, we indicated some suspension problems on Jimmy Sills' car from hot laps.
We actually bent the front torsion tube. He bent it so bad they couldn't repair it, so they put a coil spring axle on the front instead of the torsion bars, and we're going to wait and see. We don't know how well that's going to work with the torsion or the coil springs instead of the torsion bars.
It's basically a pavement setup.
Yes, it's basically a pavement setup, but it'll work on the dirt too, set up properly.
Well, here is Dennis Hart. We saw him win one here a year ago. He is from right here in Ventura, built his own race car, and he leads down the back straightaway.
He jumped right into the lead. He got a great start. Sills right away. He doesn't wait. He has never run that car with the coil springs on it. Right away, he jumps right to the top, right to the cushion, and to see if it's going to work. He doesn't like it up there, so he moves back to the bottom, and he bumps Kofer along the way.
There's your top 4 right there with Sills in 4th, right behind Kofer, tucks to the inside. As we take a shot down the front straightaway, and Sills now is up to 3rd. Sills runs the pole against that inside berm, pulls away from Kofer in 3rd position.
He ran one corner up the top. He didn't seem to like it very well, so he moved right back to the bottom. But he's a guy that's going to try every place on the racetrack he can. There's Flock in the 32 car. He's on the move, too. That's Kofer that he's moving up on.
Well, of course, Robbie Flock was last year's television champion, a 2-time Western States champion, but he's not fared so well this year. He has that red, white, blue Valvoline car under Kofer and takes that position.
Boy,
right behind, we saw Stevie Reeves there just for a moment.
That was a brave move. He was in that thing real sideways and real close to Kofer, but he never touched him and went right on around him.
Look who's in 2nd position. Applying the pressure to Dennis Hart. Hart out in front, the blue 15. There's that wildly painted Calderwood car out of Bakersfield, California. The driver from Placerville, California, Jimmy Sills.
Watch Sills' arms. Watch him saw that wheel back and forth. I don't think that race car is still working just the way he wants it. Watch him move his arms back and forth there. He's really working that race car hard to run up there.
Sills has won every race that he has finished here. When the car breaks, obviously he's out. When the car holds together, he wins.
And it looks like he might be the same way tonight. He just went around him. He just did a great job as he went right on around the top. That cushion seems to be working just as well with coil springs as it did with torsion bars.
So once again, Jimmy Sills, a former USAC Silver Crown champion, won that title 2 years ago, was 2nd last year, is out in front. There's Dennis Hart, a graduate of TQ competition. He rides in 2nd position.
And Sills just runs away. Boy, once he gets in front, and here comes Flock. Flock was a fast qualifier. He's the guy who has a chance to win an extra $2,000 tonight for the Wins Challenge. Because of the quick time. He's already won an extra $100, but Sills won the race real easy.
Sills, Hart, Flock, and Markham take the top 4 positions. They will be in our feature event, 30 laps, and the rest of the guys in that race will have to go through the semi. As we take a look now at some highlights from heat race number 2 out in front, there's that black 47. That is Bondio, and look at this. That is Gary Howard upside down. Bondio got in trouble first. An easy over, he lands right side up. But we had to have a complete restart as Gary Howard had to go to the back of the pack. And here once again on the restart, that is Bondio in the car that McSpadden won with last week.
Yes, and that's Roy Carruthers running in 2nd position right there. He did a very good job. Watch the left front wheel on this 27 car way up in the air. He's got way too much left rear weight jacked in that race car. When that wheel's up in the air like that and it's flopping around, it makes that car awfully difficult to control, as we see right there. It pushes, it's loose, it's all over the racetrack.
Well, we're riding with Joe Gertie right now, the sprint car veteran out of Rochester, Indiana, as he pulls up behind Wally Pankratz. Pankratz has had terrible luck here, but looks like he's rolling a good set of dice right now.
Yeah, we can see right here from this in-car shot. Boy, Pankratz is working the heck out of that race car, and he's running really fast. This is the best he's looked all year long, I think.
The veteran, 46 years of age, a carpenter by profession out of Orange, California. There's the guy from Indianapolis. He drives a UPS truck, and we certainly hope he doesn't drive it quite that reckless during the week.
Well, he's had his problems out here. He's run into a few people, and they've run into him. But right now, he's doing real well. That's Brent Harbin in the white car, the number 1 car back there. He's running a very good race at this point. But look at this. Look coming up. Pankratz with Gurney right on his tail. They just blew Bondio away in that black car, and they're heading for the front.
There's another look at the three-time defending New Zealand champion up from Howick outside Auckland. That is Brent Horriban. He's had some tough luck up here, too.
There's Coney running in second position, doing a very good job. He can't quite get around him. But look at this, 5 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right in a row. It's going to be exciting to see. Only 4 of those guys are going to make the feature race out of these first 5 guys.
In fourth position is, well, about to be passed for fourth, is Horriban as he's on the high side, the white number 1, the white number 34 on the inside is Wally Pankratz, and Pankratz takes that transfer position, and here comes Joe Gertie to the inside.
That's right. When he moved up just a little bit, he moved a car width off the pole. Those guys went right under him. You don't want to give a guy like Gertie or Wally Pankratz a hole because they're going to take it. You've got to keep the door closed on them.
Look at once again, Wally Pankratz in that white number 34 car having the best drive so far this season here on television. Looks to the inside.
Look at this, right underneath him. Run high, up low. That was a checkered flag. He won that race.
Wally Pankratz takes the victory over Roy Carruthers. Then it's Joe Gertie in third, and Lou Ciccone out of Pennsylvania rounds out the top 4. They will transfer. We still have the semi to go, plus a 30-lap main event. Sleepy Trip T-shirts selling well here at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. We love you, too.
Larry Bird was born to be a champion. He was destined for glory in the game he loved. Call this toll-free number now and get bird watching at its best in this amazing video, Larry Bird, a basketball legend. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to capture all the drama of sports. Through rare footage, you'll follow Larry from the basketball courts of Indiana to the hallowed halls of the Boston Garden. Be there when the championships are won. Share the glory, live the moments. Be there for the hard-fought and emotional duels with Larry's longtime friend and rival, Magic Johnson. Call now to subscribe or renew. Get your free video and 54 issues of SI, including the swimsuit issue for only $1.29 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this heartwarming tale of a boy who lived his dreams. It's the story of a legend. The legend lives in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
It may be the quickest month yet on ESPN. Serving it up in May on ESPN.
Hey, we're back in Ventura. How about my guys here on Saturday Night Thunder? We get here a half hour late. We show you the whole modified race down in, where was the modified race? Back in Martinsville, and you still don't miss a single lap of the midget competition here. We've got the last chance qualifier coming up. They're staging that now. We'll take the opportunity to whip through the news. And speaking of stock cars, let's check out qualifying from Martinsville. Chevrolet sound asleep all year. Look how they woke up. 4 of the top 5 belong to Chevys. Waltrip on the pole with Earnhardt alongside. I like that matchup. How about Derek Cope in 4th spot? On back in the rest of the top 10, Jimmy Hensley makes his first start for Cale Yarborough, and Bill Elliott, looking for the early season magic, will start from 10th spot. The Busch Grand National cars were at Lanier Raceway for a motorsports action-packed weekend around Atlanta. We'll tell you more about what's happening there in a moment. The winner of that race was Bobby Labonte. He won it over Chuck Bound. The pole sitter was our own Mr. Gordon from Saturday Night Thunder last year, but Jeff had to settle for 10th today, and I didn't see the football guy's name on the entry list anywhere. Apparently, Glanville did not make the show. Now, across the street at Road Atlanta, Davy Jones took 2 seconds off the track record with his new Jag. Look for him to stomp tomorrow. Juan Manuel Fangio starting outside the front row with P.J. Jones and the defending series champ Jeff Brabham. Tom Kendall in the Chevy is 5th with Chip Robinson alongside. Jeff Perner doing a good job coming back from injury. And Price Cobb finally put the new Mazda in the show. Looks like they may have that muffler problem sorted out, although his teammate Pete Halsmer had a crash during the course of the weekend. He was uninjured. Still not satisfied, Atlanta? You want more racing? Well, they've got the drag racing going on up there, too, at Atlanta Dragway, and they have shattered many of the records. Bob Glidden is fast qualifier for the first time since 1990 in pro stock. He got the ET record. Cruz Pedregon, whose brother is racing here tonight, his Tops and Funny cars, also got the ET mark. Kenny Bernstein took both ends of the top fuel record at 485 and 296. And guess who's not in the show? Big Daddy didn't make it. The car is there. He qualified 18th. It ran well. Just basic shakedown problems in a 5-year-old engine combination. I don't think they went there expecting to set the world on fire. So Garlitz will wait to begin his upteenth comeback. Rookie orientation at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How about it, guys? Got a list of everybody who's in? Looks like it, with Paul Tracy, the fastest at 223. But again, the speeds are really not the issue there. In fact, they barely keep track of that. A couple of guys we should add to the list are Brian Bonner and Ted Prappus, who completed their required phases late today, despite rain all day long. And one other quick note about Indy. We'll have time trial coverage for you here on ESPN. 3 big days of action starting on Sunday the 10th. We're going to be heading back that way to cover the Indy action for you. One other quick IndyCar note. Gregor Foytek, the guy a lot of people thought would replace A.J. Foyt. See if this sounds familiar. His wife said, "It's me or those race cars." So he's parked the car and flown home to Switzerland, and he is a retired IndyCar racer. That pretty well covers the scene as far as racing action elsewhere around the country. We'll be back with a couple of interesting bits here from Ventura.
The Suzuki Katana 600. It cranks even before you turn it on.
Hey, Mark, what's it like?
What?
Driving one of those souped-up family cars.
I don't think you can handle it, Al. Sometimes we bump into each other.
Yeah, but it's always in slow motion.
Are you going to take that from a guy who can't do anything for more than 5 seconds at a time?
Turn and face your accuser, Joe.
I don't have to turn, man. I'm a drag racer.
We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, we got it, we got it.
If you've got to have it, there's no better time to get it.
We got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it.
The Suzuki We've Got It flexible financing. Come and get it.
USAC, the most diversified sanctioning body in auto racing, sanctions the Indianapolis 500-mile race for the 37th consecutive year in 1992. As part of a racing schedule involving more than 160 exciting open-wheel events. Be there for every green flag. USAC is bigger and better than ever. Be a part of the action by writing for membership information to the United States Auto Club. And don't miss a single exciting lap.
We'll have one more week of USAC action here on Saturday Night Thunder from Ventura. Then it's back to Indianapolis for the month of May. And May 9th and 16th are going to be great pre-Indy 500 shows for you. Be sure and tune in for that. For the record, we've been on the air 45 minutes and have not had one significant aftershock worth reporting. But we've had a whole lot of action on the racetrack. That is the last chance qualifier out there warming up to set the last starting spots in the main event. There are rumors that Son of Bungee Jump lives. Whole lot still to come on Saturday Night Thunder. Let's get back to the Gare and Lair show.
Well, I want to get back to something else. Did you see that tie? A close-up shot of that tie he was wearing earlier with the rosebuds on there? Look at that. Do you have thorns on that? The Ugly Tie Award goes to Dave Despain. All right, we have to thank the Central California Push Trucks for coming out here this evening and help us getting these midgets started, as Chris Malone and Gary Schroeder will start up front of this 12-lap semi. Stevie Reeves and Gary Howard comprise row 2. In the third row on the inside, can't miss that race car, Jet Davidson in 59. Brett Horriban out of New Zealand. Then row 4, Rick Cressy and Frank Pedregon in the car, normally driven by Paige Jones. There's Jack Hawley in number 2 and John Coper in 66. In the 6th row, on the inside, Kirk Alexander and outside Jack Yaley. In row 7 will be Bob Brosman and Andy Bondio in 47. In the 8th row, on the inside, Lynn Carter, the black number 77. Brian Drowlinger outside in the orange 0. In the 9th row, there's George Ito in 71 and Bob Ciccone in 9X. And there is a look at Stevie Reeves. Here is a team that has won 5 races last year. Here they're struggling.
Yes, and he's going to fly home tonight and run a midget race tomorrow at Louisville. That car, the team car to that car also is going to be running next week. They have a midget race at Indianapolis Raceway Park next Saturday night at exactly the same time we're running here. And 2 identical cars, one be running here, one at IRP. So that team and their drivers are busy, busy people.
It's going to be real tough for him to drive 2 races in one night next week. George Ito. did not qualify all that well. Had to go through our last chance race to even have a shot at the semi. And there is a look at the Strawberry Farmer. And there is George Ito in the black number 71.
Well, the Strawberry King's got Big Red. That's his engine he's got in there tonight. It's not the aluminum engine. It's the iron engine. And he evidently, it's 80 pounds heavier. Maybe that caused him a little trouble in the qualifications on that slick track this afternoon.
We have one lap to We Go Racing. This is the 12-lap semi. We're starting straight up. The fastest qualifiers in front of all these drivers. Critter Malone was the quickest qualifier out here. Will only transfer 4 into the main event. There's a look at the youngster that spends part of its time in Indianapolis and part of his time out here on the West Coast. There is the green flag. 12 laps to go. Almost 3 abreast. And look at that move from the high side.
Schroeder and Critter both got great starts. Uh-oh, Chris got turned around down there at number 1. He's off the racetrack. I doubt if they're going to go yellow. I think they're going to pull him back. Critter's leading the race. He's doing a good job. We're seeing Brent Harmon in that white number 1 car. He's moved to the bottom. He's come from 6th place up to 3rd, and he's challenging that Stevie Reeves in the other white car on the outside of him, also trying to go to the front. But I think Brent Harmon right at this point has made the best move of anybody in the racetrack. Come from 6th spot up into 2nd. There he goes, right on around him. No, not quite.
Brent Harmon has had some just horrific luck the past 3 weeks. We have a car upside down off of turn 2, and that, look at the fuel spilling out of Bob Cicconi's red number 9. That's the driver from Prospect Park. He had to go through the last chance race to have a shot at this semi. He started in the back row, and he is upside down. The yellow is out. The red has not been displayed. Bob appears to be okay, as they'll simply leave him in the cockpit, roll the car over. So Bob is okay. A colorful driver.
Very colorful, very great. He's great on the microphone. Boy, he's a funny guy. He ought to be a comedian, really.
His brother Lou said, how about if I send Bob up to the booth and he can broadcast the race with you? So now that he's upside down, if he doesn't make the feature, we may have Bob up here with us. But Ciccone obviously is okay. Not much damage to the race cars. We take a look at Critter Malone out of Indianapolis as he is leading this 12-lap semi. We are under yellow because Bob Ciccone found himself looking at the sky upside down. There's a look at your top 5. We'll come back and finish this race.
The other day I get in my car, won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell him what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
The controversy.
This is not a player that's going to single-handedly take over a game like a Bruce Smith does.
And the anticipation.
Indianapolis selects
Of the NFL Draft. Sunday at 11 Eastern, live on ESPN.
There's a look at Bob Ciccone. We'll start from the back of the pack. He was upside down. The car obviously was not damaged.
Well, obviously, maybe not damaged. I don't know. I think he's a little leery right at this point here. The front end of that thing looked to me like it was bent a little bit, and I'm not real sure that he's quite certain how it's going to react.
I made the point last week. I still think you get upside down, you take the car off the racetrack, stick it on the trailer, and check it out before you go racing again.
Well, you have to be careful. Here you go. Here we go, Gary.
Restart as they enter turn 3 here at Ventura. A little bumping and banging out there. Critter Malone out in front. Schroeder runs in second. He's being pressured by Brent Harmon, and Harmon takes second position from the inside coming off turn 2. That is your New Zealand champion. He is up to second.
He's doing a very good job. Look at Frank Pendragon in that black car is running in fourth. He also is on the move. He's moved up quite a bit. Oh, Richard Cressy back there in the background. Spun out again. Oh, and up on the other end we've got...
That is Ito upside down. The red flag does fly this time. Ito got upside down after we had a yellow come for Cressy.
Another crash down here. Somebody wasn't paying attention.
That is Kofer in 66, and Stevie Reeves just shaking his head and saying, I don't believe this.
Well, I got to tell you the truth. I don't believe it either.
You know,
I mean, the yellow's been out for almost the whole lap. Where's he at?
You got to be watching the yellows. You can't drive over the front nose of the race car. That's just elementary.
Yeah, that's...
Well, let's go back and try to rehash and sort out what happened. We had the spin first. Rick Cressy got trouble coming off 4. He spins. The yellow comes out. As we're watching that, let's see if we can see what happened. Ito's in trouble right there. He's already going over.
He hooked a rut. It looked like getting into the corner. There's nobody else around, and he went over plenty doggone hard. He bent the race car up. There's fuel coming out. Look
See
at
the
that.
visor? See the tear-off reel, the take-up reel they have on that? You can see it being torn off the helmet. He's going to be a little sore tomorrow with what we call racing rheumatism, but right now he's shaking the cobwebs out.
Yeah, he
looks back at the race car. Pretty typical of a race driver. I'm okay. How's the car?
Well, of course, that's always your first thought. You know, when you know you're all right, you always want to think, well, what happened to the race car? What I do to it? But it appeared from that tape that he hooked a rut and he came down on that soft left side. And once he caught on that soft left side, it did a reverse flip like we've seen so many cars do here. As we see him
here. Of your screen right here.
Yeah, see, he's coming. Oh, he's coming down on that left side, up in the air. We're getting some information that he had a cone stuck in the front end of the car and he couldn't steer it. Is what started the whole crash.
Now notice that piece of plastic off to the right that is ripped off the helmet. That is the tear-offs that they mount. It's actually 2 reels, 2 spools on each side of the visor that they can clear the visor. There's a look at, there's a look on the hook, number 71. We had a quick glance there at Kofer's number 66 on the hook. And obviously, from the look inside the cockpit, Stevie Reeves was not at all happy as to what transpired along the front straightaway.
The Molly Black Gold car is on the hook. The 66 car Kofer's is on the hook.
Dave, some comments from you.
Just got a quick glimpse of Mike Rolls there cleaning up in the Ito thing, and I just wanted to compliment that guy. He has done all the scaffolding work for ESPN here. He opened his business to us so that we could basically take over the place, and he's just been a 100% campaigner in making these telecasts possible. Now he's got to rebuild George Ito's race car for next week's show, so he's going to be an even busier guy next week.
Yeah.
There's a good vantage point right up there. As we got a glance of Jeff Selmer. Wave to us, Jeff. Can you hear us? There he is. What a great bird's eye view of Ventura County Fairgrounds. As we've had a wonderful day, a big beach party going on right behind us, but plenty of action right here on this 1/5 of a mile bull ring.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
There's a way to virtually guarantee a safer suspension system. A way to eliminate pulling, shaking, and loss of control. It's the suspension technology of Midas. Diagnostic tools so advanced, they can pinpoint the problem. So you know your car's fixed, absolutely right. And for a limited time, buy one Shocker strut, get the second for 50% off. For a safer suspension, nobody beats Midas.
If only your tires could talk.
It's so tiring. He babies the car, then abuses me with messy vinyl cleaner. Hey, I'm rubber. No-touch tire care. Ooh, nice foam.
No-touch tire care. The first product to clean, shine, and protect tires in one easy step. No scrubbing, no dirty rags, no mess.
Yeah, clean and shiny. Oh, no. Bad doggy. Go away.
Treat your tires right with no-touch tire care.
BMW reminds you there's more to life than a bigger office. Is this the year you experienced BMW motorcycles?
Saturday night always means racing action. Make a note on your calendar. Speed Week will be a half hour late next week, starting at 8 o'clock. Eastern Time. The remains of George Ito's car have been brought back here to the pit area, and as you can see, there's a lot of work to be done there. We last week showed you Gary Lee bailing out. No, that's a bad choice of words. Electing not to participate in the bungee jump down in New Zealand. We encouraged you to write in with masses of letters telling us no more of that stuff. We don't want to see it. We didn't get enough letters. Quick note about what we're going to see now. You know how bungee jumping works. They drag you 180 feet in the air, tie a rubber band around your feet. You jump out and go boing, boing, boing. Well, in New Zealand, for those who are too afraid to jump out of the booth, they have an alternative to bungee jumping. It is called the bungee blast-off. What they do is put you in a harness, stretch the rubber band out. Okay, how many of you want to see Gary Lee do the catapult? Yes, 2. One is his mother. The other, I understand, was his 5th grade teacher. No, 132,000. It's close. We're going to make you watch. What Lee didn't realize was when they let you go as high into the air as if you had bungee jumped in the first place. Gary Lee gets a gold star in my book for doing the things that Larry Rice wouldn't even consider as Saturday Night Thunder took you down under. How about it, Gare?
It was truly amazing that we could find somebody to be my stunt double down and look just like me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't want any part of any of that stuff that was higher than a 3-foot step ladder, I can tell you that.
All right, we are ready to go racing once again in our semi. Once again, 4 will transfer. There's a look at the top 5. 3 of 12 laps are now completed. Once again, 4 will transfer. Your leader is Chris Malone. And then running second, the 1NZ car is defending champion from New Zealand, Brett Horban. The green flag flies. We are racing again. And you had a shot there momentarily, the white number 9 of Stevie Reeves. He is able to restart.
Hedregon got a very good start back there. He was really on the ball, and he got around Schroeder as they got that start. But Schroeder's coming back under him down there, that yellow car right under Hedregon. They bang wheels. Those 2 guys banged wheels in the heat race all day long. They banged again right there.
There is Schroeder on the inside, and now we go back to the front of the pack for the battle for the lead. There is Critter Malone on the high side. He slips a little bit, and here comes Horban on the inside.
Horban's running a very tight line right around the bottom. Critter's about a car width off the pole. Both grooves seem to be just about the same speed. It's the guy who makes the cleanest lap with no mistakes. That's the guy that stays in the lead.
A problem down in turn 1. Number 77 has brought out the yellow Carter. Lynn Carter slides to a stop on the inside of the entrance to turn 1, so the yellow comes out. That car is pushed to the infield.
And this racetrack, we were talking about what great condition it's in, Gary. That goes to show you. Critter's running the car width off the pole. Horban's running right on the pole. Both of them are running exactly the same speed, and it's only when another guy makes a mistake that somebody gains a little time, one way or the other. He gains a little ground on him. So it's a very, very good racetrack, very fast racetrack right at this point of the night.
Well, we take a look at Chris Malone. We call him Critter. He's out of Indianapolis. He leads. And then right behind him is your 3-time defending New Zealand champion, Brett Horban. He rides in second, having the best ride so far this season here at Ventura. And then we can pan back and look at number 21. That is Frank Hedregon, who finished 6th in points last year in the Western States. And he's taking over the ride for P.J. Jones because P.J. is not racing here with us this weekend. He's in Atlanta, and we don't have a yellow. There's a real mix-up over there going into turn 3. I don't think Chris picked up the throttle at all.
Well, I don't think they saw the 1 lap to go sign because Chris, he knows what the rules are, and he would have picked it up had he known, and he just wasn't ready. And there were guys that were going to try to jump the start on him because they were ready. They knew it was coming, but he just evidently didn't see it. And evidently Brett Horban and Hedregon didn't see it either because none of the 3 of them picked up the throttle.
And there is a very emphatic signal from Brian Howard indicating 1 more lap. He holds the furled flag up. They saw it that time.
They saw it that time, and if they don't get on the throttle before they get to that second cone this time, it's going to be their own
fault. There's a second cone there on the throttle, and we are racing now on lap number 6. And look at Horban. He gets a good start. He takes the lead, and he drops Critter Malone back to second.
Poor old Critter made just a little mistake, and boy, when he did, Harold Horban was right there to take the lead and run right out in front. Hedregon's doing a very good job, too. He's running a little bit higher. He's running higher than either one of the first 2 guys and running fast.
Oh, tap right there, and that gets A car in trouble. Look at this. Look at him on the throttle doing wheel stands down the backstretch.
He stayed on the throttle.
It's a pogo stick.
He stayed on the throttle, and every time the car come down, he'd get on the throttle again, and between the thrust of the throttle and the wheels, he'd jerk the wheels back up. He'd get off and he'd slam back down and back up in the air again every time he hit the throttle.
Pedregon drops to 6th in that little melee. And that's only 4 transfer.
It's going to be tough for him to make that up. You know, the race car seems to be fine, but it's still going to be tough. But there he goes. He's got Schroeder. He's right underneath him again. He's game. He's going to go after him. You saw him reach up and take a tear-off again. He took his hands off the wheel, taking that tear-off so he can see better.
We said, I think, last week, this racetrack is very much like Western Springs, where this young man races all the time in Auckland, New Zealand. And here's the battle for the transfer position.
He's walked off to a very good lead. But look at this. Jack Haley just gone around Schroeder. He's really trying. Oh, he got another rut. There was Gary Howard down there who caught that rut. Got way up in the air. Oh, he busted something. He's going to pull off.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Your leader by a large margin is Fred Horvath. As we look at that battle for the 4th and final transfer spot, Schroeder has 1 lap to get it done. I don't think he's going to. And there is a checkered flag for Fred Horvath.
And Haley holds on for 4th place. That was a very good race for 2nd as Stevie Reeves moved up there kind of unbeknownst and was challenging Critter Malone for 2nd position right there at the end of the race.
So Fred Horvath, who is here on holiday from New Zealand with his brother Phil and his wife Trudy and his young daughter Amy. And there is, look at the steam coming out from the car. That was a Bronco, right? I'll tell you what, that was a bull ride for this man right here. There is Frank Pedregon, and he's had his trouble here this evening. Let's look once again. There's Stevie Reeves moving up on the high side. Look at him come from the back of the pack.
One,
the 3rd.
Oh, he's still on the throttle. 4, and it's up.
You only have to ride a bull for 8 seconds. He rode that for longer. Oh, Frank Pedregon and Paige Jones own car number 21. Well, we still have a 30-lap feature to go from Ventura, California.
The holidays can be an exciting time of the year, but remember, there are some people out there who can ruin it for you. It takes an auto thief only about 6 seconds to steal your car and steal your holiday spirit. So why not fight back? I recommend the Club. Not only does the Club make the ultimate gift for family or friends, it can protect your car from becoming a statistic. This year, over 1.5 million cars will be stolen. Stolen from malls, workplaces, even your own driveway. The Club's highly visible appearance deters auto thieves, plus once attached, it makes driving away in your vehicle virtually impossible. And now, the Club is guaranteed for up to $500. Over 220,000 police officers, as represented in Operation Lockup, recommend the Club as a deterrent against rising auto thefts. This holiday season, don't let a car thief steal away your spirit. Get the anti-theft device that's guaranteed to work. I recommend you buy the Club. Avoid cheap imitations. Make sure the anti-theft device you purchase says the Club on the handle.
The Club's available at most stores where auto supplies are sold.
ESPN's cooking up a Tuesday night special of Surf and Turf. A sizzling serving of hot summer nights is a tasty appetizer. Then move on to the main course, a hefty portion of America's favorite pastime. ESPN's Tuesday night special, Surf and Turf. Just make sure you clean your plate.
Pretty peaceful night on the Pacific Coast. That shot is probably, 200, maybe 300 yards from here. Contrast with what we see in the Western States Midget action with cars upside down and guys doing those 4 bouncers down the backstretch. The crowd is all over here now. They're enjoying the race after the big Ventura Beach party that took place all day today. All in all, it has been an exciting day here at Ventura. And now we're getting ready to go to the main event. The cars are being pushed out, fired up. Quick turnaround for those in that endless last chance qualifier. What is it about that race that takes so long to run? One of the guys in the main event hoping to finally break out of that long losing streak on television. In fact, he's never won one of our TV races here. The man that we associate with this name, or this track, his name is synonymous with this track. He, of course, is Sleepy Trip. Got the nickname when he was racing little quarter midgets. Used to fall asleep in the cockpit. Well, now he's driving perhaps the best race car in the business, or at least one in which he has a tremendous amount of success. It's a reunion, and Gary Lee took a look at the team.
In years past, when we visited Sleepy Trip here at home, this garage has been a beehive of activity. Sleepy's been inside, thrashing away, getting his race car ready for the next race. But it looks pretty much like any other garage now. So where's Sleepy? Well, he's up north. He's joined the Zarunian racing team, and they're based in Visalia, California. It's a 4-hour drive for Sleepy, but he doesn't seem to mind. The Zarunian garage is larger, has more equipment, and there are more people around to help. But just because Sleepy is no longer a one-man band doesn't change the fact that he's a hands-on racer.
Well, he's not lazy. He loves to work on a race car. There's very few race car drivers will come out and spend 2-3 days working with you and working on a car. But he likes to do that because he knows how the car's put together, and he gets a good feel for the car when he races.
Sleepy drove the black #1 Intimidator car last year, while Stevie Reeves drove the blue and red Zaronian race. Sleepy became USAC's all-time winningest midget driver last May and won 8 races on his way to the championship. But he had a few hard knocks along the way, too. Sleepy's record is unprecedented, however. 11 midget championships, over 250 feature wins, including 3 at the Belleville Nationals, and 12 wins right here at Ventura.
We've been about 2 years since we've been back, and we got our old colors back, and we won. Each of us have won some races. They won the big one last year, and we've been putting along, winning a few. But it's good to get back. It's tough going out there, but I think we have a shot at winning the championship this year, and hopefully we can win some races with it.
Sleepy's a throwback to the old days. He loves getting dirty and winning races. Some say he's mellowed in the past few years. When I look at him, I still see that rough and tumble kid that started in this business 18 years ago and throwing it into the corner and standing on the gas.
And there sits Sleepy Tripp in his car. I got Sleepy and Zarunian straight. I have trouble keeping Gare and Lair straight, but I'm wondering, guys, if Sleepy might be able to pull it off here tonight. What is the bug on this guy's back? What keeps him from winning these TV races anyway?
The irony was that he had trouble last year on television. As soon as we went back to the Midwest, he started winning.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. It just seems that the bad luck follows him on the television. And he starts a long way back tonight. It's going to be very, very tough with Robbie Flock starting in front, Joe Gertie starting in the front, and, of course, Jimmy Sills in the field. But there's really no reason.
Well, Tripp, of course, is always the guy to beat out here. He has been rather consistent in years past, still looking for the first victory. But once again, it's a reunion of sorts with George and Gary Zarunian. We have to talk about Gary, the son. Gary is just in love with moon pies. Rice didn't even know what a moon pie was. But obviously, he had to bring a couple for us last week, and Rice said, I don't even know what that thing is. Here, you take it back. So, Gary, thanks for the moon pies last week.
That's right. As we watch Sleepy here, we want to talk a little bit about the winner of this championship was going to get an invite to the Hoosier Dome next year. We wanted to just slide that in there. Ted Hollingworth's been on us. He says, come on, I'm going to invite the champion to the Hoosier Dome. Mention it. There you go, Ted. We mentioned it.
Also, there's some additional prize money if Robbie Flock can win this thing this evening because he is the fast qualifier. The Wins Extend Challenge offers $600 a night with $100 going to the fast qualifier. And then if he can win the feature, he gets the additional $500. And if nobody claims it, it rolls over. Tonight, it's worth $2,000.
It's rolled over. No fast qualifier so far has won the main event, and it could accumulate to thousands and thousands of dollars. Tonight, it's $2,000. It's kind of patterned after the Unical thing, but it's a good deal for all the racers.
Well, the Central California push trucks are getting some action this evening as they are getting our cars started. As we take a look from atop Russ Gamester's cage, we're coming back with the 30 lappers. Stay with us.
The Suzuki Intruder. She's beautiful, and she cooks.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, we got it, we got it.
If you've got to have it, there's no better time to get it.
We got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it.
The Suzuki We've Got It. Flexible financing. Come and get it.
We are back back live for the Copenhagen Skull Western States Midgets from the Ventura County Fairgrounds. You can see most of the cars are on the track running now as they're getting lined up for our 30-lap main event. And I don't know if we can get him on with us right now, but we mentioned earlier that Lou Ciccone said, hey, if my brother doesn't make the feat, how about if I send brother Bob to the... Well, I'm not sure. He's a character. Here's Bob Ciccone. The last time we saw him this evening was upside down. What happened out there, Bob?
Hi. Basically, I was driving on the upper part of the cushion on 1 and 2, and 2 race cars got together, and the 55 Bronzeman, I believe, he came out in front of me. It was not his fault at all. And on dirt, you don't stop immediately, even though you can react. The race cars just keep going.
Tell us a little bit about the track conditions. What's the racetrack like? It was real dry this afternoon. What's it like now?
I'll tell you, they really did a good job. They completely tore the track up. Right now, the track is very tacky. There's a little bit of a rut down low in 1 and 2. But 1 and 2, you can run outside and inside. 3 and 4, you get a little bit better of a bite down low.
Well, we may have a chance to talk with Bob some more as the feature gets underway. Bob will take a look at the starting lineup. Joe Gertie up in front alongside Critter Malone. In the second row, we'll have Doug Coletta and the sprint car standout Robbie Stanley. In the third row, inside Wally Pankratz, the veteran from Orange, California, and Robbie Flock outside the fast qualifiers. Stevie Reeves and Keith Roush occupy row 4. Comprising row 5, there's Jimmy Sills, and there's Brett Horriban. In the 6th row, on the inside is Ricky Gray. Outside the winner a couple of weeks back, Russ Gamester. In the 7th row, we'll look to the inside. There's brother Lou Ciccone, and Ron Sleepy Tripp. Then in row 8, on the inside, Dwayne Markham. Outside, number 5 is Roy Carruthers. In the 9th row, paired up will be Jason Jockman and Dennis Hart. And in row 10, we have a driver's change, but it'll be Jordan Hermansader and Hank Butcher starting outside the 10th row in 2J.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The Butcher's going to be starting in that race car. He drives the team car. They decided to put him in that race car. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with it.
And here's a look over the shoulder of Russ Gamester. Yeah, that's a great. Take us for a ride here this evening with the CarQuest Cage Cam. He won the first outing a few weeks ago. Didn't even get to start the second outing, and last week was in 2nd position. All right, we should get a green, this time by Joe Gertie, who is 2nd. In the ESPN television point standings out here, will lead them around. 2 green flags unfurled. We are racing here at Ventura County Fairgrounds.
Joe Gertie got that nice, smooth start that we've talked about all along. How nice and slick he is, keeping the race car straight. Robbie Stanley in that white car followed him right on through. Critter Malone fell to 3rd on that first lap.
And now we take a ride with Russ Gamester. He looks at Lou Ciccone coming off the corner. See Lou bounce around coming off the 2nd turn. Let's ride with Russ.
Yeah, there's going to be some ruts in this racetrack. It's getting a little rough. But Russ Gamester's moving right on by. He's moving right on up.
Battle for the lead up in front. That is Joe Gertie in the yellow number 38 with a camera. Oh, he gets a little bite there. And on the inside is Robbie Stanley. A couple of sprint car nemesis going at it right here.
That's right. 2 sprint car guys really going after it. You see that smoke. Uh-oh, Hermansader spun off the racetrack down there. He's in the infield.
No yellow flag. And look, we have a pass for the lead. And there is your defending USAC sprint car champion out of Brownsburg, Indiana, Robbie Stanley out in front. But here comes Gertie on the inside.
Wow, you can't ask for any better race than that. One guy goes around, the other guy comes back. He's smoking that right rear tire trying to get back around. He just can't quite get it done.
And look who's up to 3rd position, Robbie Flock. There's a look at Robbie Flock, and he is your fast qualifier, which means if he can win that, he gets an extra $2,000 in the wins exchange.
That's right. Flock is really going for it. He started in 6th spot, right around the bottom, right on around Joe Gertie. He is on the move. We expected him to do well, but I didn't think he'd move quite this quick up to the front.
Now we ride with Joe Gertie. There's a look at the white 48. Your leader, Robbie Stanley, down to the inside on the left will be 2nd place, Robbie Flock.
Gertie's your sprint car guy. He's up on the cushion, riding the cushion, trying to catch these guys, but it looks like they're pulling away from him right at this point. But look at this. Sills and Tripp, both these guys started deep in the field. They're already up in the top 5. Pretty amazing.
Sills runs in 4th position. Sleepy Tripp is up to 5th. Critter Malone drops to 6th.
And look at this. Flock is underneath our leader. He's really going after him. Stanley is up on that cushion, bouncing and riding that rocking Bronco like crazy, and he's staying in front right now.
You have to be impressed with these sprint car drivers that come to the lower-powered midgets. In the case of Gertie, he's running without a wing. 10 laps now complete, 20 laps to go, and there is the pass for the lead. Robbie Flock now has the lead, and he can smell that extra additional money this evening.
And as soon as he got around, he moved to the top. He moved to the cushion as soon as he went around Robbie Stanley. I think that's a pretty good indication that cushion might be a faster place to run. He's pulling away from Robbie Stanley right now.
This could be a shootout between Sills and Flock, because Sills, there's a look at Robbie Flock, your two-time Western States champion. He is leading, but Sills now rides in third position. Oh, look at this battle for the lead again. Sills is back there in third, and now Stanley's up in front.
You can't ask for any better racing than these guys have led and passed and been back and forth 2 or 3 times. Sills is really running fast. He started in 13th position. He's up to third. He's not running quite as roughshod on him. He's not running as dominant as he has the past, but he's still running fast.
There's the battle for second position. That is Robbie Flock in second. That is Jimmy Sills in third.
Sills has moved to the bottom. He seems to be running better on the bottom. It's halfway now. We're halfway through the race. But Sills, I think, is very indicative that he's moved to the bottom of the racetrack. He's not up on that cushion. It may be a little too rough for those coil springs to run up on that cushion.
Well, you talk about a roll of the dice. The yellow flag is out. A problem up there in that turn, the interested turn 2. That's Yachman, the 18-year-old high school senior from Fountain Valley. He climbs out. He's okay, but he slides to a stop. That bunches him up, and this may be what Jimmy Sills needed.
This is going to be very interesting. Robbie Flock drove a heck of a race. He's doing a heck of a job. He's run on the cushion. He's run on the bottom. He's run any place he needed to do to move to the front. Also, look at Robbie Stanley. He's done the same thing. He's been passed on the bottom. Flock moved to the top. He went to the bottom and passed Flock back. It's been a very, very competitive race. Sills has got up to third position, but those guys are both running so good. He doesn't seem to have a real handle on them like he has in past weeks. And Trippy, he's moved up to 5th spot from back in, I don't even know where he started, but it was a long ways back. What, 16th?
I want to talk to Bob here. Bob, it looks kind of wild when you're up here watching it. It looks a little more in rhythm when you're out there in the race car.
Smooth and Sleepy's pretty tough on these little tracks. So I think Robbie Flock and Stanley are going to have the work cut out, but Stanley's tough too.
Bob, you race the sprint cars as well. You can really address the difference in driving a midget on a small dirt ring like this as opposed to the sprint. Right now, let's go back to Dave. Dave, you're in the pit area.
Yachman started this evening with a heat race victory and ended up in trouble. What happened up there?
All of a sudden, I was just going down straight, and all of a sudden, started popping. Went boom, and I saw a bunch of fire just coming up, man. I just stopped and got out as fast as I could.
No burns?
No, it's fine.
How do you like this business?
It's awesome.
I'd say so. It's green flag. Let's get at it.
I like that description. Awesome. And right there, Robbie Flock goes back for the lead, but here comes Jimmy Sills on the inside, the black number 4, and there's the white 40 on the high side. So 2 different lines, and there is a good look. Oh, talk about a look there. Well, there's Stevie Reeves in number 9, and there's Lou Ciccone, and there's Roy Carruthers in number 5, and there's Dennis Hart.
Yeah, there's, what's that, 2, 4, 5 guys, plus Keith Roush. He's also in there. That was quite
Gamester. Gamester climbs out, one of our cameras.
He was
out in that melee. So 5 cars involved inside turn 2. Let's see if we can ascertain what happens here.
Okay, they're all running in the corner. Everything looks to be going pretty smooth at this point, but Keith Roush looks like he bangs into somebody. He got sideways, then Reeves hit him, and it was just a big pileup after that. Oops! Roy Carruthers was right underneath your brother here, Bob. It was, you know, it just got to be a traffic jam, like a chain reaction on a freeway.
6 drivers involved. The yellow flies here. We still have half the race to go here from Ventura County Fairgrounds. We're coming right back for the finish.
Where to find the mountain man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
You say your eyes are red, irritated, dry? Don't hide them, help them with Clear Eyes. It gets rid of the redness and has an extra moisturizing ingredient, too. Clear Eyes. And for allergies and colds, Clear Eyes ACR.
It is tipped and caught by Tillman. The waddle. And it's gone!
You know, I thought for a while we were going to get this thing in with no yellows and end up filling again tonight. It looked like we were going to run late. Now we got them all tangled up down here in turn 1 and 2. And I wanted to ask these guys who started this. Gamester came running over, but Gamester had notions getting back in his race car. They could not get the cars untangled, but now Russ has got the thing loose. And I think he has a notion of trying to get in there and start it up. I'm not sure he's going to be able to pull that off because he's definitely running out of time. But I'll tell you this, I am not going to go over and enter into a leisurely conversation with Russ Gamester on the subject right now. I don't think he's going to get back, guys.
Well, there's a look at Lou Ciccone running across the infield as we have his brother Bob up here in the booth with us. And when I started to ask earlier, you've driven the sprint cars. Address, if you will, the difference between going from a high-powered sprint car to a lesser-powered, shorter wheelbase midget, going from like pavement to dirt.
Well, from a sprint car to a midget, let's just take that difference. You have a great deal more power in a sprint car, and you can get the car a little bit more out of shape and do quite a few different things. With a midget, which has less power, you have to be a little bit smoother, and if you bump up against the cushion, it's potentially, I feel, more dangerous because you don't have enough power to drive you off the cushion. That's why you see a lot of race cars on this tacky track hitting the cushion and bouncing all over the place and flipping.
I'm impressed with this guy right here. Joe Gertie is a veteran of the world of outlaws with the wing, a lot of horsepower. He talks about driving with more finesse here, with less horsepower, and I've been impressed that he has made the transition with very little experience in midgets.
Absolutely. If you watch...
We're about to go green this time around. There is the green flag, and once again, Robbie Stanley is out in front, and a problem right there. Another tangle in turn 4 as we had the restart. 4 cars involved down there. There's Doug Coletta in the number 22, Critter Malone in number 7, Keith Roush again in number 8, and I can't see the number on the other car down there.
Actually, the whole thing was started by our hero, Jimmy Sills. As we look through here, Jimmy Sills caught a big hole. He got real sideways. He was spun out. But all of a sudden, Gertie hit the front end, straightened him out. But everybody else all got jammed up in behind him, had no place to go. Bang, 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 just like we said, another freeway multi-car crash. See, he's already spun out. He'd already spun himself out. If Gertie hadn't hit his left front, he would have been stopped himself. But when he started going across the racetrack, Critter Malone tried to turn to the right to miss him and turned right into those other 3 or 4 race cars.
Wayne Markham's also involved down there, and also Ricky Gray in 44. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. And now the field running through the infield now. There's a look at Ricky Gray. We saw him lead about 24 laps in the first feature out here about 3 weeks ago. And there's a look at the number 4 Dave Calderwood entry. Jimmy Sills on board. As you say, he had actually spun out, got tapped, straightened out, went to the infield, and now he's back up in his 3rd position for the restart.
Yeah, that different front end, that coil spring front end probably is a pavement front end that they had in the trailer. They probably put it on there. They may not have the shock adjustments. They may not have exactly the right springs to make it proper for this racetrack. And coil springs generally do not work as well on a real rough racetrack as do torsion bars. Now, I know with all the new shocks and all the new settings, they're awful doggone close, but I think they just haven't had quite enough time to get that thing back to where it should be.
15 laps are in, 15 laps to go, and there is a look at Brett Horriban. He wears the blue number 1 on the tail of that car, indicative of his championship in New Zealand. A 3-time defending champion. He's up here for about a 5-week vacation.
Yeah, and he's done a very good job. I think he's one of the few guys who have come up here and really run well. There was a kid by the name of Graham Standring that came up here a few years ago and ran good. Barry Butterworth came up. But other than those other 2 guys, I think Brett's the first kid that's come up from New Zealand and been as dominant or as good a race car driver as he's been here on this series.
And he is having his best drive of the season, and there is a look at the banner they brought along.
Yeah, the Control Board of New Zealand. That's the people that run the speedways down here.
Black flag being displayed for Keith Roush, and there is a look at number 1, indicative of a championship here on the West Coast, the Western States champion, Sleepy Trip. And we look like we have a furled flag indicating 1 more lap.
It's going to be very interesting. Sleepy's running 5th. He's come clear from 14th position. We've got Sills, who came from about 9th position up to 3rd. These two guys, it's going to be very interesting to see if they can get around the really, really fast guys now that they've passed some of the guys who weren't quite as fast as maybe they wanted to be.
15 to 30 laps in. There's a look at the top 5. Stanley, Flock, Sills, Gertie, and Tripp. Now, once again, Ron Schumann, who leads the television points, is not here this evening. He's racing a sprint car at Manzanita with CRA. So Gertie, with a good finish, could move up to the points lead.
He could move up. He's in a very good position. He's run a very good race. He's run a very smart race. He's at 4th position. It's not like he's out there loafing, but he's got some really fast guys out there. I mean, Stanley is really standing on the button here tonight. This is the best he's looked in this midget out here. Here we have the in-car camera. We're right behind Jimmy Sills in that 4 car. That's a great shot.
4th position as we took a look for the restart, and the green flies again on lap number 16. Now, once again, Sills wants to run what cushion there is up there, and look at that. He goes almost around for second. A good battle for second position. He stays on the high side, lost some ground there.
He caught a rut, and he threw the front end out from under him. Stanley, Flock, and Sills. The first 3 cars right there. Stanley,
yellow flag.
The yellow and the white car.
Critter Malone parks against the outside wall on the backstretch. Still another yellow, and we still only have 15 laps to go. Is there a full moon out, Rice?
I don't know, but we're having all kinds of trouble. It looks like we got to the halfway mark, and then all of a sudden everything's gone wrong. We can't get this next lap in. Hope we get 16 in here pretty quick. But again, Sills was up on the top. He caught the cushion, and the race car was very bouncy. It didn't run through the holes as we've seen that race car go through the holes before. It looks like he's having trouble with them tonight.
Any race driver will say, I'd rather be lucky than good. So far tonight, everything has gone Jimmy Sills' way in this feature. He's been very lucky with the yellows.
Yes, he has. He's had some mistakes that he's made, or the race car's giving him a little trouble with. But because of the yellows, he's gotten back in the race. So it's going to be very good. Right in front of him, Robbie Flock. Very tough. I think he's hungry. He's going to go for this win. And, of course, Robbie Stanley in first place up there in that 48 car. That's probably the best job I've ever seen him do in a midget.
Once again, Robbie Stanley is a graduate of quarter midget competition. We're going to restart this race as we ride along with Joe Gertie. He's back there in 4th position. And here is a look at the restart. Look how high Jimmy Sills goes. And look at that. He's on the outside of Stanley. And Stanley goes from 1st to 3rd on the restart.
What a great shot. We saw Stanley make a small mistake, and the 2 guys behind him both blew him off. One on the inside, one on the outside.
Look at Sills on the high side.
Sills is really standing on the button. He's really giving Flock all he wants. Oh, he caught a hole. Stanley caught that hole and went out. And as he did, Gertie went right on by him for 3rd position.
And Sleepy Tripp goes by for 4th. There's the battle for the lead. Another tangle in turn 4. Here we go again. Well, there's Dennis Hart in 15, and there's Wally Pankratz in 34.
Another multi-car down there.
That's Stevie Reeves in the white number 9, and is Doug Coletta. We now have Bob Ciccone up here spotting for us, so we have another 4-car tangle.
Yeah, it seems like they're running so close, the racetrack is so fast, that once an accident happens, everybody is nose to tail, and it's just bang, 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 bang. They can't get away from each other. Everybody just stacks up in a big pile, and there's nothing anybody can do, because when you're running through the corner, semi out of control in a slide, and somebody stops in front of you, there's just no way to get stops in time.
Well, we have completed one more lap. We're up to 16. Let's take a look again at the top of your screen. Wally spins to the inside, and almost as an aftermath, Stevie Reeves gets involved with Doug Coletta in the burgundy number 22. And here's the restart from...
what a great shot. Great shot. He got just a little trouble there, Stanley did. And boy, Flock blew by him on the inside, and Sills blew by him on the outside like he was screwed to the racetrack.
And I tell you what, he starts talking to himself when he makes a mistake like that.
Oh, sure you do. You're saying, you big dummy.
Watch it now, watch it now.
You big dummy. You let them both go around you.
Now watch again. There he jumps up again. He's going to lose about 2 or 3 positions right there. Now watch him hit this rut.
Yep. He hit another hole. He bounced again, and he lost another spot when he caught that hole down there. He just had a couple of bad breaks, and every time he caught a bad break, it cost him a spot or 2 spots.
Well, there's a look at Robbie Stanley, who now rides in 3rd position for the restart. 16 laps are completed. 14 laps to go. They pick up the throttle down the backstretch, and once again, Jimmy Sills goes to the high side as we ride with Joe Gertie. Sills way up on the cushion, but he couldn't overhaul Robbie Flock. Flock continues to lead.
Oh, boy, Stanley got real sideways right there. You can see old Joe Gertie getting out of the throttle because he knew that Stanley was going to spin in front of him, but he got it under control and took off again, and Gertie didn't run into him.
Now, keep in mind, as we said before, every time Jimmy Sills finishes a race here, he wins. Right now, he's in second place.
This is going to be a battle, Gary, of the guy that is the most consistent. If Robbie Flock keeps running that low groove and doesn't make any mistakes, Sills is going to have a tough time getting around him. But if Sills, I think it's faster around the top, but it's farther around the top, and there are more holes up there. It's going to be a very, very interesting last lap.
It's drying out on the inside, and look at the smoke. He's smoking the tire. We're talking about Robbie Flock. Watch him smoke that right rear.
I think that right rear tire, as he spins it on that slick racetrack, it gets hot, and it gets hot. See, there's the smoke again. The tire's getting hot, hitting the moist dirt. He's not getting a very good bite off the floor. It's slicker and more than any place else, and that's where Sills is really gaining on him. But he gains it back down in 1 and 2.
Once again, smokes that right rear off the corner, but it's still Robbie Flock.
Robbie Flock is doing a great job. He's running very smooth, very straight. Sills got up on the wall a little bit right there. He's trying his heart out. He just can't quite muster up enough speed to get just that one break. If he ever gets up there and can get just a little bit of a break, he'll pull down a block the racetrack, but he just can't quite do it right now.
Remember last week we said it ain't over till it's over. We've seen some passes on the very last lap, and we are in the waning laps of this race now.
If you think that Jimmy Sills isn't trying his heart out, you're crazy, because he's driving the wheels off that race car. He knows what he's got to do. He's done it.
He's done it. He's done it. And the fans go wild as Jimmy Sills sticks a nose out.
Oh, man, what a job. He made an absolutely perfect corner, and we see some smoke coming out of Robbie Flock's car. I think he's got a trouble with the engine. I think Flock's got some kind of trouble with the engine in that race car. That could have been the reason he got around.
Robbie Stanley runs in third position. We look from the CarQuest cage cam from Joe Gertie's number 38. Joe rides in fourth as we look at Robbie Stanley negotiate turn 2.
He's still running. He's still running right in the middle of the racetrack. Up on the cushion that time. Now then, Gertie's right underneath him. He got a little bit too high that time. Gertie ran right in underneath him.
Back to the front once again, Jimmy Sills. There's the battle for third with Robbie Stanley, the white 48, Joe Gertie in the yellow 38. The white flag will be out the next time around for Jimmy Sills, the Placerville, California veteran, driving the Beast chassis with a Gertie power plant. The car based in Bakersfield, California, owned by Dave Calderwood.
Boy, I'll tell you, Flock is still not giving up. Look at this, third and fourth lap. Gertie caught a hole that time. That took him out of contention. He can't get around him now. What a battle these two guys have had, though.
And there's the double checkered flag for Jimmy Sills. He does it. He wins another one. When he finishes, he wins. Flock takes second. Third, well, Robbie Stanley was able to hold off Joe Gertie, but there is a look at Jimmy Sills, and I know we're almost out of time, but I certainly hope we had a chance to take a look at that colorful driving suit that he wears. But once again, when he finishes the race, Dave, he wins it.
He won it tonight. It was spectacular the same way he did it the first time he scored the win here. He drove around the outside of Flock, and he took home the checkered flag and collects the money. Sills comes home a winner on Saturday Night Thunder and remains the most spectacular man in Southern California. What a way to have to do it as he rode the cushion with a car, remember, that had to have its front end changed prior to coming into tonight's competition. He bounced it around in practice and knocked the front end loose, and when it was all done, Jimmy Sills had not only fixed the problem, he'd won the race. Flock is second, Stanley third, Gertie fourth, and Sleepy Tripp still can't win one on television. He settles for fifth here this evening. In all, it has been an exciting and an action-packed, if abbreviated, Saturday Night Thunder session. And remember, we are going to be a half hour short next week as well, so be sure and tune in here at 9:30. We want to thank the CarQuest guys for the onboard camera shots, and for your nearest CarQuest Auto Parts store, dial them up at 1-800-402-PART. And remember, 9:30 is our airtime next week. The Winston Cup Stock Car Race is going to 7:30 Monday night this week only. Baseball tonight is next here on ESPN. Jamie Roberts will be on hand with a final word of congratulations to our winner here, Jimmy Sills. We say thank you so much for joining us. Got to say fond farewell to Southern California.